Kia ora tokoroa and YouTube family. We're here at Eclipse Studios, 222 Mannering Street in Tokoroa with our YouTube channel, Table Talk. Today's discussion is going to be on depression and anxiety, and we're joined here with Julie Teao from Forest View High School, Tokoroa. Woo! Before we get started, I just want you to check out this list of signs. So for you that are out there, listen up. Do you have these feelings? Feeling of worthlessness, suicidal thoughts, restlessness, not very interested in personal activities, deep feelings of sadness, not wanting to do any activities with others, and not wanting to know any strangers. If you can relate to any of these conditions, medical conditions, please comment it down below so we can offer you and sort of help with some sort of support. But for now, I'd like to introduce Julie. Welcome.
Kia ora, thank you.
Is there a difference between being depressed and having depression?
Okay, yeah, there is. A lot of people talk about being depressed or feeling depressed, but usually what they're referring to is just maybe feeling sad or going through a low mood. But having depression is something that's a lot more, I guess, frequent, something that you're constantly feeling, and it's kind of like a state of, you're almost like a state of depression where you're constantly going through something. People may not even notice that you're feeling that way or what's going on. It can be referred to, like, there's an awesome book out there called The Black Dog Book. A lot of you may have heard of it, and it really talks about depression like it's a black dog that's constantly always there, like a shadow that kind of is with you and follows you around. But if you're not familiar with it, The Black Dog Book is a story about how depression can be like this, a black dog that's just with you constantly all the time. So it's not just you might be going through a bad day or something like that, and you hear students especially or rangatahi a lot saying, oh, I'm feeling like I'm depressed or I'm depressed, but sometimes they're just referring to being sad or having a bad day. Depression is something a little bit more in depth, I think, and it just kind of hangs around a lot longer than just a day or so.
How do you get depression?
It's not like catching a flu or anything like that. Usually some people are kind of prone to it more than others. So sometimes it could be family history or going through a traumatic event that might trigger it, or something that's happened to you. Maybe the loss of a loved one that you've recently experienced, or but it's not like anyone can get it. It's not like something you just catch. It's sometimes you're prone to it. Sometimes it's because something's been going on in your life and that you haven't shared. It usually relates to something in your history. It's kind of,
And sometimes you might not even know that you have it.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why it's really good to put those signs out there, like you mentioned earlier, of what to look out for, because some people might not realise that's what they're actually experiencing. Yeah.
I mean, for me, just sort of knowing that you were coming in for the day, I was doing a little bit of research to sort of get an understanding around what depression is and stuff like that, and I'm sort of thinking, oh, that's me. Because everybody deals with there's stuff in everybody's life that sort of triggers sad feelings. We all have sad feelings. We all feel depressed at times. And it's just trying to figure out who's depressed and who's just feeling, or who's got depression and who's just feeling depressed. So for me, it was like,
who's just feeling sad.
Who's just feeling sad.
Yeah, I know, as when students come in, it's kind of discerning that as well. Maybe they're just, going through something at the time when I see students at school, or is it something that's a lot deeper than that, or something that's been ongoing? So usually you'd ask them, how long have you been feeling this way? And how long, have you been experiencing those thoughts? And take them through just a list of questions just to identify, similar to what you asked at the beginning there.
Mm-hmm. So the number that's going along the screen down here, what's that number to?
So that's 1737 is an important number that you can text or call. It's Mental Health put that out as a number that was kind of generic because there's so many different organisations out there that can help and assist. And so 1737 will connect you through to an operator and they will identify where the need is. So if you're a young person, they might put you through to Youthline. If you're having suicidal thoughts, they may put you through to Lifeline. Like they'll discern that for you. So they created that number so that it was an access to all different types of agencies that can help or assist, and then somebody can discern that for you rather than you going, who do I ring, what do I do? All you need to do is remember 1737. You can text it and you can start chatting to someone on text if that's something you feel more comfortable with, or you can call that number. Nice and easy to remember, 1737, and that connects you with somebody straight away. So you don't have to put too much thought into it because it can sometimes be the hardest thing to do, is pick up that phone.
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes just talking is going to unpack a lot of things that you're trying to figure out, especially young people.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
There's a lot to figure out as a young person as well as an adult.
Exactly,
so don't be shy. Use the number.
Yeah.
Like I said, comment down below and we'll just keep you in the loop with whatever we can come up with.
Can hear an alarm.
Just one of the bros trying to get him a free feed. But yeah, is depression a weakness?
Not at all. Not at all. Like, some of our super sports stars are affected by depression. And so John Kerwin is quite a famous person who suffered depression, and then he set up the, he's one of our, representatives in regards to mental health, and he set up his own website just to help, because being an All Black and a male, sometimes those are the hardest ones to connect with. And he was affected through depression a lot through his All Black career. So it doesn't pick and choose. It can happen to anybody, and it's definitely not a weakness. It's not something that there's something wrong with you or anything like that. It's just something that there's so many people out there that can help support you through. So yeah.
I mean, for me, growing up as a sports person, I was using my sports to try and find my identity, I guess. And what usually came with that was also the alcohol and stuff like that. So. Yeah. The drugs, the alcohol, and the sports, that was me.
Lots of pressure.
Yeah, just sort of, it was my blanket to sort of cover up anything that I was dealing with. I mean, growing up without mother or father, I had plenty to cover up. So if you're out there and you're feeling like you are, you need someone to talk to about issues that are going to make you feel vulnerable, don't feel vulnerable. No. I mean, the more vulnerable you make yourself, the more you're going to grow into who you are. So I'm just sharing my perspective on sports and the social life that comes with sports. Doesn't matter how many achievements you get sporting wise. If you don't deal with the problems that are hidden underneath, just like John Kerwin, they're not going anywhere. So please be a man and just reach out. Reach out and talk to someone. Yeah,
that's it. That's the key. It's a good start. Is to just and sometimes you don't even know what you're going to say when you maybe call 1737. It's just a matter of making that first point. When you reach out, someone will reach back. So definitely encourage that.
So what do you recommend for someone that's just sort of trying to do stuff in their life to deal with depression and the symptoms that come from it?
Yeah.
Is there like groups that they should join, or?
Yeah. There's a lot of things that are out there, and again, this book, the Black Dog book, has heaps of suggestions and helpful hints on how to understand what you're going through. So there's lots that you can do. I mean, seeking a counsellor is only one thing. Sometimes you need to talk through those things that might be affecting you, but you can also do lots of other things, like being a part of a group and keeping those social connections, because a lot of people who are depressed like to shut themselves away. So that's a really good step, is to build those connections. Sometimes that can be hard to do, but it's definitely does help. So people who have that support around them are able to manage it a lot better. But there's a lot of other strategies and ways, simple things, getting enough sleep, and eating healthy, eating well, exercising. Those are all really helpful things to do as well. And I guess at that point, just want to share to learn some of these strategies. We have a depression anxiety recovery program that's being run through the Seventh-day Adventist Church coming up in the next couple of weeks. So we'd love to hear from anybody who may be interested in learning just some strategies. It's more of an educational tool so that you can put some things like lifestyle things in place to change your lifestyle that may help to support that. And that's an additional to maybe seeing a counsellor or any other things that you may already be doing, but it's maybe learning how to eat properly, set some goals, positive thinking, those sorts of educational kind of tools that can really help as well. So that's the Depression Anxiety Recovery Program run through the SDA Church. I'll leave my numbers with you guys if anyone's interested. Be great to hear from somebody.
Yeah, so once again, leave comments in the comment sections, and we can make contact with you in whatever way we got to.
Yeah,
We won't
That'll
be
be
blasting it over the channel,
Yeah.
private number, but
Yeah.
we'll sort it out.
Yeah. Cool.
So what's your favourite part of this book? What do you think is like some key things that? Well, firstly, where do they get a book like this?
Well, usually you'll find it in your counsellor's office. I think they got sent out by the Ministry of Health to all schools should have one. But usually it might likely be in the counselling office. What is it's kind of like a easy to read comic book about the black dog, and the black dog's like this analogy of the shadow that's just constantly with you. Sometimes the shadow gets bigger, and then it talks about how there's ways that you can manage or keep that black dog kind of tame and under control with some strategies that you can put in place. So the actual story is actually really neat, how it describes it and explains the black dog. But then this one here has a lot of tools and helpful advice, who to contact, and this is a bit more detailed, this one, which is like version 2. You get the book that you read, and then you get this kind of like support guide to help you through what you might be going through and to understand it more. I think that really helps when you can understand how you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and triggers perhaps. So it's quite detailed with a lot of information in that book as well. But I like the comic strip because it explains to our young people nice and simple how they're feeling and how they compare it to this black dog. It's like this shadow that's always there following you around. Yeah.
Well, I used to get told that I had a cloud always following me, and I guess that's sort of the same sort of thing that this is talking about.
Yeah.
And I actually used to buy into that. People used to, because I didn't have the best luck. Things always used to happen to me, and it was like, man, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. Sometimes it's just a matter of reaching out and having people around you, support groups that are around you. If you're a young person, please comment in the section down below, and we can get you into training. So we have a kickboxing gym here. We have youth groups. We have outdoor adventures and stuff like that. I mean, I did look into the science behind depression, and there's chemical balances that are in your head to do with the brain. So it's a medical thing. You're not nuts. It's just you need to, especially because of COVID, we all got locked down. We all put on weight. We all got a bit, bummed out with how life was going. So what's the best way that I could see to help you with those mental, those brain functions, is to get back into life and get back into exercise. So exercise is going to spurt the dopamine and the serotonin in your brain. That is the happiness drug. Well, not drug. The happiness chemical. And one of the girls was saying, "Oh yeah, that she gets that. She gets that from coming to the gym. She suffers from a lot of different conditions, and coming to the gym and to group is one way of dealing with her conditions.
Yep, absolutely.
So you don't have to. It's not always about taking a pill. It's not always about going to the doctors and getting medication. Sometimes it's just getting the support people in the right place at the right time.
That's it.
So that we can just connect together,
Yeah.
connecting with each other and trying to help each other. I mean, that's what this channel's set up for, so we can start bringing connections and relationships with people in Tokoro think we're doing a good job at
Yeah.
it so far, so please use the comment section, use the number down there, and use the Black Dog book. Is there
Yeah.
anything else?
Just reach out. Yeah, reach out. There's always, someone there that is ready to help. So make the most of that opportunity and reach out.
Once again, there's the Black Dog book. Yeah, so from, we're here. From Julie and I, and my wife, who is my rock, who is the one that makes all the magic happen in the behind the scenes. It's Talofa, it's Kakite,
Ai,
and
ka kite.
see you later.
Ai.